Awit na lang si Darpa. Tingnan ang view. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Come on, get it out. Yes. What on?
Hello guys and welcome back to another video. So today I'm in the kitchen again and I'm gonna be making something special for you guys. So for the menu today we have curried chicken and roti, which is something mom asked me for well these past few days, and I'm just getting around to making it now. So let's get straight into it. I'm gonna start out by making my roti first, the actual dough for it, because we have to let that rest so it can actually come together nicely. Alright, so I'm gonna get started on my dough. What I have here is just about 2 pounds of flour. Same amount I'm gonna be using because I don't usually make a small amount of roti. Have to make it so it can be shared for everybody. So I'm gonna be adding some salt to this. Not too much. And some baking powder. Now, this is not by any means the traditional way of making roti. This is just what I found that works best for me, and it's the easiest way to do this. So, I'm just going to get things mixed in right now. Just ensuring that I mix out everything properly. Also, guys, remember to wash your hands first. I washed mine off camera for those of you who are going to wonder.
Make sure your nails are clean too.
Hey guys, so I don't have any nails on at the moment and my nails are completely short. So if you're making this and you have nails on, just make sure your nails are clean underneath. You can wear disposable gloves, but I find that makes kneading dough very difficult. So just make sure your hands are completely clean before you're doing this. Alright, so everything is distributed evenly now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start off at a corner. I'm going to make a space right here, just like this. I'm gonna add some water right there and start getting things combined. Now, the reason why I do this is the easiest way to deal with any dough. You want to start off at one end and work your way over. So once you see it starting to form like this, you're going to set that amount to the side and you're going to need another section. You make more space, add your water. So yeah, this is perfect for beginners. Like I said, this is the easiest way that you can make this. So you just want to continue this process until you get everything incorporated and into a dough-like form. Alright, so this is what your dough should look like after. You're just going to continue kneading it. It should be a nice and soft dough. You're just going to knead it until it's mixed in properly It's still going to be a little tacky after you finish kneading it, but that's exactly how it's supposed to look. Alright, so once you finish kneading it, it's gonna look like this. And what you're gonna do, flatten it out a bit, just using your fist. And you're going to add some oil into it. You're not using too much, but enough to smoothen out the dough. So we're going to press that into the dough. Just like this. And then we're going to proceed with kneading again. We just want to fold it over for now and really press that oil into each layer of the dough. Okay, so now we're good to go to knead. So this is what it's gonna look like when you're finished. You're just going to cover this and let it sit for however long you want to, but I recommend at least half an hour just to make sure it's actually resting enough. And then we're gonna get back to it. But for now, we're gonna move on to our chicken. Alright, so here we have our chicken. What we're going to do is we're actually going to just cut it up into some bite-sized pieces. Then we're going to go ahead and wash it. And you want to remove the skin when you're making curried chicken. Alright, just trimming off the excess fat as well. This is what we're going to be doing for every single piece of meat until we're finished. Mm. Hmm? Speed up the part, speed up. Did you ever stop to notice all the love should be fun? It was all I did, right? Alright guys, so this is what our chicken looks like after. We're just going to go ahead and wash it and we're going to clean up our space. Alright guys, so we're just going to wash our chicken. Same stuff I use every time, just some lime juice and some vinegar. So you really want to get in there and wash your chicken properly. We're gonna have one final wash, then we're good to go. So this is perfect now, guys. So we're gonna move on and get into seasoning our chicken. So here I have the things that I'm gonna use to season up my chicken. And for those of you who've watched before, you know I prefer to blend my seasoning. So I actually have some scallion here, garlic, onion, thyme, and some scotch bonnet, and also some pimento. So we're keeping it pretty simple for the seasoning. So we're just gonna add these to our blender now. So we can just get everything blended and add that to our meat. So I'm just chopping these into smaller bits just to make the blender's job easier. And guys, mom is actually here as well. She is sitting in the background. She's not feeling too well, so she's just watching me cook for today. I'm just removing the leaves from the thyme and adding those to my blender. Because you guys already know I don't use the sticks. Alright, so that's good enough. Then I'm just gonna add some vinegar to this, just to make it easier to blend, and that also tenderizes the meat. And the pimento. Then we're just going to blend. Alright, so this is our finished blended seasoning mixture. We're just going to add this to our chicken. it's time to add our powdered seasonings. So I'm going to be using a different combination of powdered seasonings, but what I find works really best is a combination of all-purpose, some chicken seasoning, a little bit of the jerk powder seasoning as well. And what this does is it gives a kick of flavor to your curry. So if you've never tried that in curry before, you can go ahead and try it. And also a little bit of season to the bone seasoning. And some black pepper. And last but not least, some curry powder. Alright, so we're just adding a bit of it onto the chicken. Just letting it marinate with this on it, because I find that the curry flavor really seeps into the chicken when you do this. So I'm just going to give all of this a mix, just to make sure everything is well incorporated. And we're gonna leave that to sit for at least half an hour. Then we're gonna get started on cooking. So this is it, guys. We're just gonna cover this and leave it to marinate, and catch you guys when it's time to cook it. Alright guys, so it's been half an hour and we're just gonna get started on our curry chicken now. Just gonna light my stove. I just washed this pot, so I'm gonna let the water droplets dry out before I start doing anything. Alright, so this is dried out completely. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add some oil to the pot. Don't need a lot of the oil because we're going to add butter as well. Now what this does is it gives the chicken a lot more flavor. So it's just about 1 tablespoon of butter. And we're just going to add in our actual curry powder to burn at this point. When I say burn, I don't mean actually burn up completely. You just want it to cook for a bit in the butter and oil mixture. You're just gonna stir that up. And now it's time to add in our chicken. So we're just gonna go in with our chicken like this. I'm gonna give this a stir. And you're going to see the parts of the chicken that hit the oil start to catch that really nice yellow color from the curry. Now once we stir this up properly, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the lid on and leave this juice to cook down in that oil. So once you put the lid on, it's going to release some water. I'm going to show you guys exactly what it's going to look like and how you're supposed to cook it throughout. So we just cover it and leave it for a few minutes, just like that. In the meantime, I'm going to get started on my roti. And I put my chicken on first because it requires a lot less attention than the roti would. With the roti, you have to keep in mind that you're going to be constantly rolling and paying attention to it. Alright guys, so it's time to check in on our roti dough. And this is what it's going to look like. What you're gonna do is you're actually going to knead it again, but this time it's just to get the air out of it. So yeah, the dough is going to be a nice and soft dough, and it's going to be very, very smooth. So it should feel like you're touching a fluffy marshmallow at this point. Yeah, so this is what it's gonna look like. You can see completely smooth. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to divide this up into some small circular pieces. We're not going to be making super huge roti. We want them to be about medium size. So about this size should be enough. So we're just going to roll these up just to make it easier when we're making the dough. Because you don't want to have to be rolling it out and then constantly coming back to doing this. It's a lot more stressful, so it's better if you just roll these up from now. So when you're actually rolling out the dough, you can just take different pieces and continue to roll out. Alright guys, so this is what I was talking about. As you can see, the chicken has started to release some water. So once this dries down a little bit, we're going to be adding in some potatoes to actually start cooking down. Then we can get on with the rest of the cooking process. So we are done with these. What I have here actually, what I want to show you before we get started. You're going to need some melted butter, and we're going to be mixing that with some oil. And this is to brush the tops of our roti while it's in the pan cooking. So now generally most people use oil alone, but I find that the butter gives it so much more flavor in addition to that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to mix this out a little. And what I'll be using to cook the roti in is just a regular non-stick pan. You don't need a tawa. If you don't have one, this is just fine. It does it the same. Tastes pretty good just the same. Okay, so you don't have to worry about getting yourself a tawa just to make roti. So I'm gonna get started by just lighting my stove and showing you guys how I roll everything out. Alright guys, so to get started, what you want to do is get some extra flour. You're going to be dusting your board with this, because this is really the only way you'll be able to roll everything out without it sticking. So you want to make sure you're getting a decent amount of flour on there. Our pan is heating up in the meantime, so you can use that time to roll out your first roti. You want to get some on the rolling pin too. And now we're gonna get our first piece of dough. We're just going to start by rolling it like this. You're gonna flip it over just to get both sides dusted with the flour. And then you want to work going like this. You want to try and get a perfect circle as much as is possible. But don't worry about it being too perfect your first time around. You just want to make sure it's good enough. You just want to make sure you roll these out pretty nicely. You want every section of the surface to be flattened out evenly. And here we have it, our first one. Like I said, we're not making them too big. So we're just going to put this into the pan now. So you're just going to let this cook for a few seconds on one side, then you're gonna flip it, add on your butter, and you're going to repeat the process. Alright, so as you can see, bubbles are starting to form at the top. So we're just going to get under there and flip it. Then we're going to brush it with some butter and oil, like I said before. You don't need too much of this, you just want to brush the surface and make sure each section of the surface gets it. Now bubbles have started to form again, so we're gonna flip again. And once again, coat the next section with oil and butter. And in the meantime, you're going to get started on the rest of your dough. You just want to roll out the next piece so you can get it into the pot as soon as this one comes out. So once again, flip and let it cook a bit more on that side, and then we're good to go. Alright, so this is ready to be taken out of our pot. You guys can see. This is what it's supposed to look like. So I'm going to transfer it over to another plate. Alright guys, so this has dried down perfectly. We're going to add in our potatoes at this point so it can get a nice sear on it. And then we're going to add in our water after. So potatoes in. A nice stir. To make sure it gets well incorporated. Then cover it back for just like a minute or two more. Then we're going to add our water. Alright guys, so we're going to add some water into the pot now. It's been a minute. And this is just the same pan that was used to season up the meat in. So you just add water into this and make sure to get out all of the remaining seasoning. Because like I said, you don't waste anything. So you add this into your pot now. You give this a lovely stir. We're going to leave this to boil down now, and then it's gonna be ready. As soon as it starts boiling, you can taste it to see if you want more seasoning in it. It's all up to you, but wait until the water starts boiling up first and actually starts cooking, because like I said, you would have been using water from the same basin that it was seasoned in. So you want that to start cooking properly before you actually eat it. So like I said, you're just repeating this process over and over until you finish everything up. So if you've been bored of rice or dumplings as a Jamaican and you've been wanting to cook something else to eat with your food, this is perfect. And it's not as hard as most people make it out to be. Like I said, a few seconds on each side when you're first starting out with it. We're just gonna keep the whole process of everything going. I'm gonna continue to make my other roti. That's going to be going into the pot as soon as this one finishes. So you have to really be able to multitask when you're doing something like this. As you can see, I'm keeping an eye on this as well, and you see bubbles have started to form. So it's time to flip this and to add our oil and butter mixture on top. So yeah, while doing this you'll need to move a bit fast, but the more practice you get, the more you get used to it. Alright, and the bubbles have started to form again, so it's time to flip once more and then coat the other side. And our next one is ready to go in as soon as this comes out. So time to flip once more. You want to make sure you pay attention to this, guys. You have to make sure you pay attention. I know it may be difficult at first, but I'm telling you, it is absolutely worth it. And you're going to love the meal you get from it afterwards. Alright guys, so our curry chicken is finished. So it's looking nice. So we're gonna be eating pretty soon, so catch you guys around the table. Alright guys, so we're all done with the rotis. So catch you guys around the dinner table.
Yes guys, good evening. Yeah. Eat up some food again, you know. Serious preparation from Yvonne and Whitney's kitchen. Roti. How about this? Curry chicken. Yes guys. Yeah. Sit there. And a little white rice. See it look there? Yeah. But some people know. But listen now. Lord, we thank you for this food and we thank you for the festive season. We thank you for sparing our lives that we can enjoy this food. We ask that you bless everyone that provided, God, and we pray that you provide for those who don't have this evening. Yes, God, it's a wonderful dinner, and we thank Yvonne and Whitney for this dinner as well. Amen. Guys, you're going to smell the food this man. Yeah. It's nice. What about this?
Guys, I need a food. You know, say it out taste good, because you smell everything.
It's great, guys. Guys don't want to taste the curry here by the white rice. Yeah. That's another great one.
And guys, if you notice, you don't see me in a video more and so, because my head a tear off a morning.
That Whitney the most I
Yeah, Whitney the most I heard.
whenever they about to come and I enjoy, you know. Roti bad.
Everything perfect, guys.
No taste no over salt, no taste no over pepper.
And Whitney, if you come in for your one, you know, guys, but Whitney tired out, she drop asleep.
Now every time we talk about the food I taste, better someone come and taste it. Some of you guys come down and taste Yvonne and Whitney's kitchen. I'm sure I want. You can't hear from me alone. Man. So guys, my Yvonne, I think so sorry.
That is it.
I think so soda this evening. Light as can be. Yeah. Not too good for me then say no, but once a time. We're applying champagne soda. So guys, here's more again. Wonderful
Yeah, me too,
life.
so sorry, you know, guys.
Yeah, wonderful life together.
That is it.
Good family life. Yeah. So guys, always remember to like, share and subscribe. Yeah. And I beg you, tell anybody at all you meet. Go check out Yvonne and Whitney's kitchen. Until then, catch you in the other one.
Peace out.
That is it. Yeah.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.